Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Shah Sir Classes and Evershine Coaching Center. I am Shah Sir here. My dear students, today we are going to continue the chapter of class 10 science, biology, life processes. In the module 1, already we have discussed about the basics of life processes and what is nutrition and the different modes of nutrition. Okay, in this class we are going to study in detail about modes of nutrition. Let's begin. Now we have two modes of nutrition. The first mode of nutrition is called as autotrophic nutrition. Now what is autotrophic nutrition? Observe here, it's very simple to understand what is autotrophic nutrition. As you can see here we have an organism. Can you see here? It's just a clip art. Okay, now you can imagine it's a human being. Now this clip art indicates it's an organism. Organism means it is a human being, living being. Okay, this organism, it takes the inorganic substances. What is consuming? Inorganic substances from their surroundings. ठीक है, अब हम जो भी चीज खा रहे हैं तो वो कौन से स्टेट में है? That is in the state of inorganic substance. Once we are going to consume this inorganic substance, now this inorganic substance will convert into organic food. Very simple. Any doubts? Good. Understood? Whatever the food today we are using, we are consuming, we are eating, it is in the state of inorganic state. Once if this inorganic food comes in our body, then it changes to or it converts into organic food. Example, let me see here. Very simple. What is this? We can see a sunlight, sun rays are falling, and we can see a plant. Now observe here, what is happening here? Now we have taken an example of a green plant. Now this green plant, in the presence of sunlight, these green plants in the presence of sunlight, what they are going to take? They are taking carbon dioxide. Now what is this carbon dioxide? It's an inorganic state. And also, can you see this? These green plants taking in carbon dioxide and also the water. Understood? The green plants, what they are doing? In the presence of sunlight, they are taking in carbon dioxide and water, and once if they comes into the contact with the plant, then now this converts it into food, that is organic. Understood? Understood? So green plants, in the presence of sunlight, they take in carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and water from the soil. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एटमॉस्फेयर से लिया जा रहा है, वाटर को सॉइल से लिया जा रहा है, और वो क्या हो रहा है? वो कन्वर्ट हो रहा है किसमें? ऑर्गेनिक स्टेट में. अंडरस्टूड? दिस प्रोसेस इज नोन एज फोटोसिंथेसिस. Green plants in the presence of sunlight, understood? In the presence of sunlight, they are using carbon dioxide and water, and they are going to convert this into organic food. This process is known as photosynthesis, and this type of mode of nutrition is known as autotrophic nutrition. Understood? This type of nutrition is called as autotrophic. Autotrophic means, auto means it is self. Auto means what? Self. And tropic is nothing but nutrition. It is a self nutrition. It is not using anything else apart from sunlight. ठीक है? अब अगर से नेचर में जो भी चीज़ दूसरी मिल रही है वो खरीद के मिक्स करके थोड़ी प्लांट फूड को प्रिपेयर कर रहा है, प्लांट उसका फूड वो खुद ही प्रिपेयर कर रहा है. इट इज़ कन्वर्टिंग और इट इज़ मेकिंग फूड बाय इटसेल्फ. इट इज़ प्रिपेयरिंग द फूड बाय इटसेल्फ. एंड डू नॉट फॉरगेट दैट only green plants can prepare their own food, not any other plant, not any other color plant. Understood? Green plants prepare their own food. So this type of nutrition we call it as autotrophic nutrition. That's nothing but self nutrition. Now how do we define autotrophic nutrition? A proper meaningful definition of autotrophic nutrition, let's see here. An autotrophic mode of nutrition is defined as it is a mode of nutrition in which organisms synthesize means prepare, manufacture. Okay, organisms synthesize their own organic food, and they produce what? and they produce organic food, correct? So such type of organisms are known as autotrophs. It's a simple definition, correct? What is autotrophic nutrition? It is a mode of nutrition, or it is a type of nutrition in which organisms synthesize their own food. Organisms prepare their own food. Which food? Organic food. So such organisms are known as autotrophs. Good. Now, example of autotrophs: plants and some bacteria. So most of the plants are self-nutrition, and also some bacteria are there which is self-nutrition. They are going to grow with respect to self-nutrition, that is autotrophic nutrition. Got it? And I have already highlighted only green plants are autotrophs, not every plant. Got it? Not any other color plant. Only green plants prepare their own food in the presence of sunlight. Now, however, there are some organisms which cannot prepare their own food. They are depending on others. वो खुद का खाना खुद से नहीं बना रहे. They are not preparing their own food. They are depending on others. Understood? Then such organisms are known as heterotrophs. Can you see here an example? As you can see here, the deer and the lion. Can you see this? The lion is chasing the deer. It means that the food for the lion is deer. If deer is there, then lion is alive. If deer is not there, then lion is not alive. It means that the lion is depending on other. Not only I am just giving an example of a deer. It's not only deer is the food for the lion. Anything. It means that it shows that what does it shows? It shows that some organisms are there. They are depending on others for their food. If they want to be alive, that organism, once if they eat the other organisms, then they are alive. वो दूसरों के ऊपर डिपेंड हो रहे हैं. वो खुद का अपना खाना नहीं बना रहे. वो दूसरों को खाने के बाद वो उनके खाने में कन्वर्ट हो रहा है. Got it? Now, example you can see. There is a monkey who is hanging on the tree. As you can see, the banana is the food for it. What is doing? What it is doing? It is depending on the banana. Example you can see. What is this? You can take example cow, giraffe, goat, as you wish. But whatever you feel, whatever you see, just see to it. It is depending on other thing. It means that this animal is depending on the grass for the survival, for their survival. Wow, panda. Right? What is doing? He is eating. For whom? Other thing to be alive. Correct? Even this is also depending on other thing. Similarly, what is this? An insect. Wow. Can you see this? Even this is also depending on other thing. What is doing? Who is he? You. Wow. Not you. It's an animal. It means that even this animal, this organism is also depending on other thing for their survival. For their survival. On the whole, we can say that this mode of nutrition is known as heterotrophic nutrition. Hetero. What do you mean by hetero? Hetero means depending on others. Auto means self. Hetero means depending on others. Trophic means nutrition. Understood? The organisms which prepare their own food is known as autotrophic nutrition. The organisms which are depending on others for their food, then they are known as heterotrophic nutrition. I hope you have classified between autotrophic and heterotrophic nutrition. Example of heterotrophic nutrition are all the animals and fungi. Now, what is the proper definition of heterotrophic nutrition and what is going to happen in heterotrophic nutrition? Remember children, we have different methods in heterotrophic nutrition. There are different organisms use different strategies to obtain their food. Am I right? तो हर एनिमल एक ही जैसा नहीं खा रहा है. करेक्ट नो? वी हैव डिफरेंट एनिमल्स और उनका खाने का जो तरीका है वो अलग अलग है. तो हर ऑर्गेनिज्म का उनका खुद का क्या होता है? प्रोसीजर होता है. उनका खुद का एक मेथड है फूड को कंज्यूम करने के लिए. टू हैव देयर फूड दे हैव डिफरेंट मेथड्स अकॉर्डिंग टू द शेप ऑफ देयर बॉडी and also the way how they are alive, how they are living. So Heterotrophic nutrition depends upon the body design. Understood? So it depends upon the type of body system. Example, herbivores need different food compared to carnivorous based on their digestive system. Am I right? देखो बेटा, उनका डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम किस तरह सा है तो उस तरीके का उनका फूड भी होता है. जैसे कि एग्जाम्पल, लेट वी सी हियर व्हाट इज दैट एग्जाम्पल. Herbivorous, can you see this? These animals have long intestine. Can you see this? These animals have what? Long intestine. Whereas, can you see this carnivorous? These animals have small intestine, I mean shorter intestine. So herbivorous have long intestine and carnivorous have short intestine. It means that in this intestine, as you can see, the space, the quantity of storage of food is huge. तो इनके अंदर जो भी आप खाना खिलाते हैं उनको, ये क्या 2 दिन के बाद भी अगर से उनको खाना नहीं दिया गया तो भी वो जिंदा रह सकते हैं, बिकॉज दे हैव मोर कैपेसिटी टू स्टोर द फूड. बट कार्निवरस, understood? Example, even we also can, animals, human beings, we are omnivorous on the whole, but just an example I am telling. These animals, as you can see here, these animals, they have shorter intestine. That means that not even 4 to 5 hours you can stay without food. Within the another 4 to 5 hours, what happens in our body? The food get digested. Again we become hungry because the space is less. Our intestine is made up of a shorter length. So herbivores have long intestine. उनका intestine का part क्या है? Lengthy है, ज़्यादा है, इसके लिए उनके अंदर storage भी ज़्यादा है. So carnivorous के अंदर length नहीं है, उनका intestine उतना बड़ा नहीं है कि उनके अंदर उतना खाना store हो सके. So they may ask you this examination question in multiple choice questions. So in which animals it has long intestine? Not larger intestine. Large intestine is a separate. Small intestine, large intestine is separate. I am not speaking about here small intestine or large intestine. It comes in your alimentary canal, digestive system. That is different. No, I am speaking about the length, size. Understood? So here size is more, here size is less. Any doubts? So herbivores have long intestine and carnivores have short intestine with respect to their length, with respect to the size. Understood? Now therefore, as you can see here, these herbivores eat grass, whereas carnivores eat animals. They eat flesh. Correct, no? Isn't it? Good. Now organization. This is another method how different organisms consume different food, where the other organisms as unicellular or multicellular. Again we classify organisms into 2 types. Organisms को हमें 2 टाइप में क्लासीफाई करते हैं. So how do we classify the organisms? We classify the organisms as unicellular and multicellular. I hope you already studied in your basics, in your previous classes. The organisms which has a unit cell, single cell. जो भी organism में single cell है तो हम उनको क्या बोलते हैं? Unicellular. The organisms which consist of more than one cell, then such organisms are known as multicellular. Correct? Examples of unicellular organisms is amoeba. Amoeba is an example of unicellular organism. They may ask you, right? They may not ask you, but still you need to remember the example. But amoeba nutrition process is important. I'll tell you when it comes. At that time I will be explaining about that point. Okay. So unicellular organism example is amoeba, paramecium, euglena. So I can define this example very beautifully. We have a logic. Amoeba कहीं को जीना paramecium के वास्ते. Ammi plus abba, amoeba. कहीं को जीना euglena, paramecium. So this is an example of unicellular organism. Multicellular organism is human being. We all are multicellular organisms. Now, can you see this? Can you see this? Yes. So this is an unicellular organism. This is the structure of an amoeba. Can you see this? This is the structure of an amoeba. How the amoeba taking the food inside? Can you see this? This is the food which is available outside the atmosphere. The body of the amoeba, it is made up of a single cell. So any part of the cell is taking in food from the pseudopodia. Okay, anyhow, I will be studying about that part explanation. At that time I will just explain you about the structure and function of amoeba. But on the whole, you can see here, it is made up of a single cell. This structure, this organism made up of a single cell. Similarly, whereas as you can see here, who is he? He is multicellular organism. He is a multicellular organism. Now, upon the functioning, how does they function? Based on that, again we classify heterotrophic nutrition. So here, some organisms are saprophytic and some organisms are parasitic. Are you getting, children? Some organisms are what? Saprophytic and some organisms are parasitic. Okay, and availability of the food material, how the food is available, even based on that also we classify heterotrophic nutrition, depend on what is the type of food available around the organism. Understood? I hope you have understood the class. So in the next period, in the next session in module number 3, we will be discussing about heterotrophic nutrition and also the autotrophic nutrition still more in detail. I hope the class is interesting. Yet if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel Shah Sir Classes, do not forget to subscribe, like, comment and share. All the best. Keep watching. Take care.